Am I right to cut my mother out of my life? Advice needed. Hi everyone, so some background. I, 30, and my mother, 67, have not spoken for 15 months now. We have had a strained relationship for many years, as she doesn't agree with many of my life choices. For example, as a child and teenager, my mother put all her energy into me becoming an actor. I'm talking hours of rehearsal until I cried, restricting my weight, as well as multiple lessons and masterclasses weekly. All extracurricular had to be drama or performing themed, e.g. choir or joining the school shows, and I was part of a pretty good drama school junior weekend school. I was pretty good and earned scholarships and lots of awards whilst performing. However, it came with a lot of restrictions. I couldn't hang out with my friends or even do homework without her telling me to stop wasting my time. I was only good at one thing. Whenever I disobeyed, she would be very cruel and let me know I'd never amount to anything. My parents divorced shortly after I turned 18. Quite simply, I think my father had enough. The bullying and manipulation also extended to him, and she would frequently tell him how worthless and ugly he was, but that it was okay because he had her. At 19, I got into a pretty good university to study drama with a scholarship. Immediately upon arriving, I knew it was a mistake. I hated the city, the course, and at times the people, and I sunk into a deep depression. At the end of first year, I asked for a year's break, which was granted, and I moved in with my boyfriend who was studying in a different city. I never went back to study drama and moved into education instead, which I cared deeply about and enjoyed both the training and the job. My mother to this day has never forgiven me for this. In my mid-20s, I broke up with my boyfriend who had been cheating on me. My mother offered very little advice and support, telling me that I would not do better. I then very quickly became involved in an intense and abusive relationship. When I left, came home to her afterwards bleeding, bruised and crying, she ignored me and went on holiday with her boyfriend as she didn't have time to deal with my nonsense. She continued to tell me it was my fault for years after. I maintained a relationship with my mother over the next few years, but every visit and communication would end in an argument, and we spoke less frequently. I tried to set boundaries and told her how much it hurt for her to speak so negatively about me and my life choices, but she would tell me she only had my best interests at heart. I have also gone low contact with her, but she will just incessantly contact me. When I came out to her as dating a woman at 26, she lost her temper and screamed down the phone that what I was doing was horrible, selfish, and how dare I post anything on social media, as her friends might see. Afterwards, I sobbed and didn't hear from her for weeks. I was also very reluctant to tell the rest of the family about my relationship, but I am happy to report that everyone was incredibly supportive and loving. When she did ring me up again, it was to try and convince me that my girlfriend was clearly having an affair with her male housemate. No, I'm not joking. During the next 2 years, she frequently blew hot and cold with me, but would frequently pick arguments over small things or remind me, what a shame, that I had wasted my talent. She also frequently brought my younger brother Jay into arguments. Jay would berate me for not being kind to our mother and would frequently tell me how awful I am by abandoning them. I always tried to speak to him compassionately, as I understood he was just parroting back our mother's vile bullshit. For example, after a small argument when my partner and I were due to go and visit her, she sent me multiple messages telling me that I was not welcome and that she didn't want to see me. I then cancelled the train tickets and went to see other family members instead. My mother was livid and repeatedly told me how no one could believe how heartless you are. Then, over Christmas 2 years ago, my mother made a comment to me about my brother. Apparently I was not supportive enough, and she hung up before texting me to say that she gets no support from me and we should just call our relationship quits for now. I messaged back telling her that was how you break up with someone as a teenager, not how you should talk to your own child. In January, Jay started to relentlessly send me messages about the awful person I am and how I deserve to be alone, but that him and our mother will always love me. When I responded to see if he was okay, he accused me of being a bully and being kicked out of university due to bullying a fellow student. To this day, I still have no idea what he's talking about. I did initially leave university due to my depression getting so bad I just wasn't meeting deadlines, but returned 2 years later to do my final year. I spoke to my mother, who doubled down that she apparently had a letter from the university about my bullying. When I told her this simply wasn't true, she accused me of lying and told me to seek professional help. I then decided to go no contact with her. Since then she has sent me cards for every occasion, which are full of guilt-tripping and several bizarre emails blaming me all kinds of things, including just existing and making her life fraught and difficult, or being just like your father. As well as her being stuck in a relationship with her boyfriend. Any relationship I have with the rest of my family she takes offense at, as apparently I need tell her. Honestly, this just scratches the surface of the many insane and hurtful things that have happened. AITA